You want to find that drive and focus that has you locked in and on fire every single day? My book, The Mirror Motivation, will do it for you. I bought a copy for you. You take care of the shipping. The book is free. Click the link down there. I got you.
DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. You know, when I first started putting a whole bunch of basketball videos on YouTube, this was around, I started doing it in like 06, 07, but when it really started to get a lot of momentum was when I started doing it every day, which was that was like 2009, 2010. And then around 2011, 2012, this is what happened. 2 point guards came into the NBA that was getting a lot of attention. One of them was Kyrie Irving, the other one was Derrick Rose. I think Derrick Rose was a couple years before Kyrie. But those two guys led to, I got more questions about those two guys than anybody over the years. And people would ask, how can I dribble like Kyrie? How can I be explosive and attack the rim and whatever, like Derrick Rose? Whatever they were doing, players wanted to do like those guys. So people would say, I heard Derrick Rose did this workout, or they see some video of Derrick Rose working out. They're like, I want to do that. Or I heard Kyrie Irving did this. People would ask me about Kyrie put a basketball in a plastic bag and dribble. Should I do that? And things like that. And the thing is that I would always say, when it comes to following someone, if you want to follow in the footsteps of another person, that's not a bad idea, because listen, another person's better than you. Maybe you can learn a whole lot from following in their footsteps, but you can't just follow the little things that they do. You got to get in their ways. You got to do what they're doing. Not just the flashy stuff that you see on the surface, but all the stuff that they did to get to where they're at. And that's why I would say to players like, yeah, maybe you did see Derrick Rose practicing dunks in his workout, but what else is he doing? What kind of conditioning is Derrick Rose doing? What kind of recovery is Derrick Rose doing? What is he doing in the weight room? Yeah, Kyrie Irving, maybe he did do some drill for dribbling that made him this amazing ball handler. I don't think there's any drill that made Kyrie as talented as he is. I think some of that he was born with and you can't train for it. But was Kyrie Irving getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and working out before he went to high school? Was Kyrie working out after school? Was Kyrie doing conditioning drills and stuff for his body outside of the stuff he was doing with the ball on the court? Are you doing those things too? See, it's not just copying the things that are convenient, but is understanding that you got to go deep into things if you want to get real results. As using myself for an example, without giving too much information, like in the business world these days, I'm working on some things right now where I decided that I need to take a step back and let me look at whoever I'm going to learn from, any people that I'm learning from, and there are specific people that I follow. Let me see exactly what they're doing and let me start following exactly their pattern. Let me follow their pattern like to the T. Let me not bring any of my individual brilliance into what they're doing. I'm going to take everything that they're doing and I'm going to copy that shit to a T and do it exactly as they're doing, and let me see if that works better than me just trying to be the genius on my own. And this is something that I think everybody at some point, and this is a word again that I don't use too often, I'm gonna use it in 2 videos in a row, humbling yourself to understand that maybe you don't have to be the genius. Humbling yourself to understand that just following what somebody did on the surface is not going to get you the results. I mean, if you think about the world that we're in now, you look on social media, you look on YouTube, you see people showing you the material stuff. They show you the flash. They show you maybe their muscles. They show you maybe their car, their some material possession they have, a house or somewhere that they vacation or whatever. They're showing you the surface stuff. But what about all the work that goes behind it that maybe they did and maybe they didn't do? Because sometimes people want a shortcut. They want a shortcut to showing off the material, but they haven't done the work. So they don't. It's really nothing. They building a house on sand. Right, and this is something I've talked about on my podcast. And you got to be willing to do all the work. You got to be willing to do everything that if you want to follow somebody and idolize somebody or pattern yourself after somebody or copy your game after another person, that's not a bad idea. But you got to be willing to do everything. I heard Puff Daddy say, look, when I have an album out, I wake up at 8 in the morning and I don't go to sleep till 4 in the morning because the whole day I'm doing promo. And that's the way that it works. And if you want to be successful, you got to follow what that person's doing. And Puff is a good example because I've read stories about him and people have just talked about his work ethic, that this guy's driven. He has this work ethic that he will push people to have to keep up with him. And once there was a story, his assistant said that one time he had a house full of people. Puff had a house full of people. And he said, look, if anybody in here could stay up without going to sleep longer than me, I'll give you, he put like a black card down on the table, American Express. I'll give you this card and you go to the mall and buy whatever you want. It don't even matter how much you spend. Whatever you want, if you can stay up later than me. But he said, I ain't even worried about the bill of how much you're gonna spend at the mall, because none of y'all stay up later than me. None of y'all is gonna outwork me. None of you is gonna have more drive than me. But the thing is, I got more success than everybody in this room. Or he'll say to his employees, look, I own this company, but none of y'all is working harder than me. You see me with the champagne bottles and my coats and the bodyguards and the flash and the glamour and the videos, but listen, you think that I'm doing that because I'm trying to show off? You think I'm in here getting drunk, playing around? No, I'm working. And I work harder than everybody here, but my name's on the door. Your name ain't on the door, but I still work harder than everybody in here. And the point that I'm making here is not necessarily about hard work and drive or about any individual person, is that he's explaining to them, look, all the stuff that you see me doing, or that the media picks up on, or that the fans pick up on, and they want to emulate, which is the fun stuff, the shiny stuff, look, is the work that I'm doing underneath that I want y'all to understand. This is why I am who I am. And it's the same thing whether you're a basketball player, you want to copy some NBA all-star, you're a business person, you want to follow in the footsteps of the CEO, you're an author, you want to be a bestseller, you a fill in the blank, and you want to get to the top level of it. Is not just the surface stuff that you see them doing or hear them saying. You need to find out what they're doing underneath. And the great thing about the world that we're in now is that you can find that out about damn near anybody. Whether they're on social media or making videos telling you what they do. They wrote a book about what they do. They make an online course about it. Whether you can join their mastermind and you can be mentored by that person. You can find out exactly what that person is doing that makes them who they are. And you can ask them. Go find out. Even if somebody doesn't talk too much, you got people writing books about that person. If you want to be Obama, how many people wrote books about Obama besides Obama? He wrote his own book, but it's probably 50 books out there about Obama if you want to find out how he got to where he got to. If you want to be Jay-Z, you can read Jay-Z's books, and Jay-Z don't do too much social media, but how many accounts out there, how many books, magazine articles, blog posts are out there about this is how Jay-Z did what he did? Have you read all of them? Have you watched all of them? Have you wrote down every principle that you heard, and are you following it to a T? See, these are the things that each of us needs to do if you want to model yourself after somebody, and I think we all need to model other people in some way, shape, or form, because we don't have the bandwidth or the resources to learn and develop everything on our own. We need to take from other people at least bits and pieces at some points in our lives, because we don't have the time to learn everything by ourselves, right? So you need to not just look at the surface stuff. If I want to be, if I wanted to be, let's say, who's an example? If I want to be, let's say, Warren Buffett. I want to become the next Warren Buffett because I heard he's rich and I heard he has a lot of money. That doesn't mean that I need to just go around and start giving speeches because Warren Buffett gives speeches. Doesn't mean that I should buy a house and drive a economical car because I heard Warren Buffett does those things. Those are true. It's not incorrect. But what's the foundation of what Warren Buffett does? Not the car he drives, not his foundation. His house is not his foundation. Giving speeches is not his foundation. His foundation is, if you read about Warren Buffett, he spends a majority of his time reading and learning from other people. Not just being this evil genius that knows everything. And this is the little pieces. Again, this is the thing, and it's not about Warren Buffett or Puff or Kyrie or whoever. It's about you understanding that you got to go deep when you want to learn from somebody. And it's also about narrowing who you're going to learn from. You can't learn from everybody. You can't chase every shiny object because you don't have the time, you don't have the mental bandwidth to follow the details of every single person. You're going to run out of resources. So what is it going to be for you, and where are you going to go deep to make sure that you're getting all the information, not just the bits and pieces, and definitely not just the surface stuff. Or you can't just lick the icing off the cupcake and then say, well, now I know how to make a cupcake. No, you got to eat the whole cupcake, and you got to figure out what went into it. How many hours or how long did you bake it for? What kind of pan did you use? What are the ingredients? What specific ingredients? What's brand of ingredients? What's the timing? What kind of oven did you use? All of those things. You got to get the details to make sure that you get it right. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.